It's time to start the video. It's time. Top 5 characters that need reworks in Smash Ultimate made by Vars the Third, our GOAT. Collab coming soon. We just stopped messaging each other. Haha. Definitely is what happened. I mean, just kidding. There is no collab. Anyway, top 5 characters that need reworks, and there's a lot. I'm glad it says top 5 and not just 5 because a lot of them need reworks. I hope he talks about Lucario because I've thought that since like Brawl. I need that dude changed yesterday. But let's see what he thinks and why, and what you guys think in the chat, because this is an open conversation. If there's any characters that you guys think just need to just pop the hood open, take everything out, put some new stuff in.
6 years now, and people are understandably losing interest in the game due to it not having been updated for going on half that time. Moreover, ever since—
Wait, the last update was 2021? Oh my god. That's awful.
Nintendo gave the announcement that the Switch 2 is being developed, given how integral the Smash Bros. Franchise is for every console and that one has been released with every new one since dating back to 64, it's safe to assume we're going to have a new Smash game. I'm also inclined to believe that in light of it being backwards compatible to the current Switch, it's not going to be a port like how they did for Mario Kart 8, meaning there's a high chance it's going to be a brand new Smash.
Alright, I want to say this. We're getting a new Smash game. It's not going to be Ultimate HD. That's not going to happen. Don't be a sheeple.
Whether a reboot or an even bigger undertaking than Ultimate is still up for debate, but in any case, following the announcement, pretty much everyone is thinking about what to expect for the new Smash game, myself included. While I don't think they need to really make a game bigger than Ultimate, what I am hoping they'll do is make some adjustments to the game. Even though Ultimate did a good job making every character at least to some extent practical, at least in the grand scheme of things, I still think a number of fighters are suffering from design issues or outdated movesets. So it's time to change that. Today I want to go over 5 characters in Smash Ultimate that—
I feel like some characters all just need to go. Like I saw Min Min over there. Like, dude, there's nothing you can do to make that character fun to play against, fun to play, and good. That doesn't even need to be good. I need one of those two. It needs to hit at least one of those checkboxes. A lot of characters hit at least tolerable, and Min Min is not. Just out of the game.
desperately need to be reworked in Smash 6, although to be fair, there are definitely more than 5. This should come to absolutely no one's surprise, but my god, Ganon needs a rework for a recurring antagonist in one of Nintendo.
Dude, I agree with the Ganondorf one. He's a warlock. He's a freaking he's a wizard, Harry. And he does like no magic. He just kicks and punches things really hard. That's not what he's about. Sure, he's the Triforce of Power, but he knows magic and stuff. Come on now.
Most beloved video game series of all time. It's a fucking war crime for him to just be a stronger but slower version of Captain Falcon. To their credit, efforts have been made to divorce the two from being literal carbon copies of each other, but it's still not satisfactory. Mockrock made a fantastic video breaking down ways in which they can grant him a new moveset, and I wholeheartedly recommend you check it out. As for me though, I want to approach this more from a practical perspective, not a thematic one, because believe it or not, I've only ever played the two Link Zelda games during my childhood. As a perennial worst character, or one of the worst—
Guys, Wind Waker's the best Zelda. Don't at me.
Characters of the past 3 games in Smash, Ganon's main issue is that power is the only thing this guy has going for him. And while power is much better balanced in a traditional fighting game, power in platform fighters might be the least important aspect in a character's moveset. Utility, movement options, frame data, and moveset cohesion are of greater priority. Heavyweight fighters typically come in the form of grapplers. DK has a strong grab game, same as K-Rool. Bowser and Instant both have good throws and a strong command grab. Meanwhile, DDD is more of a trapper mid-range hybrid. Ganon may have a command grab of his own,
What % of that forward smash skill at?
Meanwhile, DDD is more of a trapper mid-range, attacking with a series of hits. I want them to go more in that direction by giving him more options to actually, brawl. To do that, we need to address the elephants in the room. The Ultimate S mod implemented a ton of changes that would fix a lot of Ganondorf's crippling issues without exactly negating their relevance. For starters, Warlock Punch became a taunt, even though it is one of the most iconic moves in the game, and instead Neutral B was replaced with a grounded and aerial version.
PM?
The aerial version gives him the ability to float, kinda like Peach and Daisy, only Ganon can freely move around in all directions. It comes with the same overall benefits.
They would need to, if they were gonna like give him movement stuff, they would have to tone down the power. I know that's Ganon's whole thing, but if they're gonna rework him, they gotta crank the power back a little bit.
Wherein he can use any of his aerials to attack you with. This can aid him in both recovery, edge guarding, and combos, all things that most brawlers are decently competent at. The grounded version is a horizontal teleport, good for closing distance and enabling him to bypass projectiles he otherwise has no answer for.
That's
this move alone addresses multiple things: his pathetic neutral game, miserable recovery, and his ability to exert pressure and carry momentum when he's in a position to do so. For his up tilt, they made it much faster and work as a combo starter, another important asset a brawler character needs: setups and confirms. Ganon doesn't really have anything to set up into a kill, forcing him to play 4 stray hits, which I mean his stray hits knock you out at double-digit percents, but overall it would be nice to have something to set up, which in his case, up tilt into back air or up air, or as the clip shows, down air would make people have to be more careful about boxing against him in neutral.
Alright, maybe not whatever this guy's
character who can get overwhelmed by speed and or range, but giving him a chance to fight back is nice to have. We could allow.
Here's the thing though, that people don't consider is that if Ganon was good, no one would play him. And he wouldn't be considered cool anymore. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't.
Elaborate a bit more on changing his normals to better suit the various weapons.
This is one of the cooler renditions of
games.
Ganondorf.
And I guess you can also maybe make a case for him being more of a weapon user like a mid-range fighter, but for brevity's sake, I really appreciate what they did for him in Ultimate S. Ganon has been depicted to levitate in the air even way back then.
Yeah, actually spitting web. This is proof that most people shouldn't be game designers. If you look at like most of those videos where people are like, I put a character in Smash and gave him a moveset, it's just unbalanced garbage.
I'm surprised they never thought to add that to the game. It wouldn't make him super speedy, but it would give him options, and that's what he needs more than anything. Second character is gonna be Kirby.
Kirby? Why Kirby? His copy ability's lit. I think Kirby's fine. What does he have to say?
With Kirby being Sakurai's baby and all, that he would want the best for the pink marshmallow and update his moveset every game. But he didn't. Never once did Kirby's special moveset in particular get adjusted. He's always had the Inhale, Hammer, Final Cutter, and Stone. Kirby's home series is all about his ability to assimilate the abilities of whoever
we can do without the hammer. I feel like that's the only move that's gots to go.
Or whatever he swallows. Every new installment of Kirby, they generally add at least 1 or 2 abilities to his repertoire, and there's so many to choose from. They do have his copy ability, but that only affects neutral beat, not the rest of his kit. They could have easily designed a new set of 3 specials for him every new game. Considering they realize Kirby's speed moves are the weaker link of the two, they've already done a pretty solid job on his normals. In fact, he's got the whole instant argument where his amazing normals are offset by his abysmal everything else. I don't think there's any issue with Kirby having mediocre physics, if they were addressed by his specials. We could theorize what combination of 4 moves would be best for him all the live long day, but for me, the one I want in particular actually pertains to none of the copy abilities. I want Kirby Air Ride in his special moveset. Those of us who were cultured individuals back in the day can recall Kirby Air Ride allows you to mount a Warp Star, among other vehicles, to speedrun your way through City Trial or other racetracks to collect power-ups and copy abilities to gain the upper hand.
You want Air Ride? He's got so many other games where he actually fights and kills things, and you want the racing game?
What I like about this is that it can make for a fantastic burst movement and recovery option at the same time. Though it is possible to steer your direction while in motion, in Air Ride, Kirby can hunker down and charge to give himself a major
charge
speed
that.
boost. We can implement that into Smash Ultimate by making his sub-special Kirby Air Ride, wherein he gets to mount his Warp Star and charge for a set amount of time to boost his way forward in a similar fashion to Diddy Kong's upbeat. Then Kirby can jump off the Warp Star like how Steve can do with this minecart at any time, so it doesn't send him into freefall. This could also give Kirby some much needed movement option, as he can use it on the ground to zoom towards you, maybe having super armor or minor invincibility. I would pay good money to see Kirby's Warp Star be a recovery/burst movement option. Now, I'm expecting they'll never take away his neutral special, but his side and down specials can be something else. Contrary to popular belief, I think Stone is an underrated move and wouldn't be the worst thing to keep on him. The side special should definitely be something new. Personally, I think either Beam or Sword would be good, some kind of spacing option. Beam would be interesting as I could hit for
Dude, he wants to give Kirby a sword. I can't with this guy. Hell no. Let's give another character a minecart, he said. Dude, no. Man, this dude for making videos or having opinions.
Stage for a 2-frame.
I usually agree with Vars on most of the things he says, but this is not it.
There's honestly so much you can do with Kirby. I'm surprised they never changed his specials in the 5 games he's been here for. Character number 3 is going to be Sonic. Sonic's a lame-ass character.
This is a good one. Let's see what he says.
I think we can all agree on that, and while technically Spin Dash and his other moves do a good job depicting his speed, his usage of them in-game is quite redundant. Full disclosure, I think Sonic's overall playstyle, isolated from Spin Dash and to some extent homing attack, is not the worst out there. He's a rushdown combo-oriented fighter with a lot of focus on airtime. The Sonic games always depict him zooming through large maps both on the ground and in the air, and he fights by rushing you down in both aspects. People might argue his edge guarding is too easy in light of both forward and back air having long-lasting hitboxes.
Why does he have 2 spin dashes? Why does he got 2 spin moves and a third move that turns into a ball and homing attack? You know?
And his spring being one of the easiest skipping tools in the game, but I find his normal moveset to be fair for the type of character he is. Unless he gets off a fully charged F smash, Sonic isn't going to be killing you on early percents on stage. He has to rack up damage on you and then find an opportunity to edge guard or hit you with the back air. Granted, thematically I'm sure there are different fighting moves you can import from Sonic's own games. Depending on how creative you want to get, I would love to see attacks from Sonic Heroes where he works in tandem with Knuckles and Tails, but pragmatically, I don't think his normals are too bad per se. What really grinds people's gears is when the Sonic player chooses not to interact. Spin dash is an integral part of his moveset, and like it or not, we're going to be stuck with it until the end of time. Additionally, his speed and mobility will always be part of the game as well, naturally giving him the option to circle camp opponents. However, we should definitely get rid of either spin charge or spin dash. I vote spin dash mostly because in the home games, I think of spin charge as Sonic's default move. When I played Sonic way back as a kid, I always recall the experience of charging a spin by mashing the key. Not only is downbeat the one I feel like most Sonic players remember from the classic Sonic games, but it's also the more balanced of the two, as it's unsafe on shield, and is the one that can't be cancelled to give Sonic a bunch of aerial momentum. I nominate for spin charge to be moved to a side B, and instead, I want his blue tornado. See, in Sonic Heroes, the blue tornado is the move that lets him create a tornado around him and knock up nearby opponents. This could have some practical use cases for maybe ledge trapping, as it would cover a large area, and it would send enemies upward for him to juggle or try to catch the landing on the way down. Whatever they decide for him, the idea is to discourage camping. Again, being fast, you'll always have the option to camp, but if there are more opportunities for us to punish him for doing so and not have a side beat that's f***ing plus 11 on shield, that would be really nice. Next character, and this might be a bit of a hot take, Sephiroth.
I don't think I totally agree with what he's saying. I don't know, and Noah's about to feel so vindicated right here. This dude loves Sephiroth. Can we talk about every Vars video talks about Sephiroth? This guy f***ing loves Sephiroth. Would you, wait, oh no, wait. Oh, you would want to redesign Sephiroth? I don't know. I kind of like the way he's designed. I think it's fine.
Needs to be changed. Oh my god, he has to be fixed. It's no exaggeration to say he might be the worst of the Fighters Past 2 characters on a practical level. Second only to maybe Sora, Sephiroth had to be the most hyped Fighters Past 2 character to be announced and one of the most hyped characters to be announced period, making it all the more tragic for him to be as poorly made as he is now. Moveset-wise, I actually am perfectly fine with him on a conceptual level. He has a ton of moves that may not be the best in their fields, but it's not like he has anything on the same level of trash.
Dude, he's cool. I don't know. I don't want to change a character that's like cool. I feel like if Sephiroth was a basic game character, it would make so much more sense for him to have the stuff that he does.
As Warlock Punch or Volcano Kick. The main issue is that they went way too far in the name of balance. I get it, the whole point of Masamune is that it's really freaking long, but because it's so long and more importantly so thin, they went out of their way to ensure that it was slow and laggy to balance the extreme range it has, forcing him to make use of pokey stabby moves instead of arcing swings for most of its attacks. That would be fine, but I feel like they could be more generous with its attributes and whatnot. Starting with, of course, weight. Sephiroth's a tall motherfucker. Have you seen him without his shirt?
That is true. Why is he so light? I will give that up. No need to be that light.
Logically, he should be a bit on the heavier side, certainly more than Cloud.
No, do not send me the first boss battle.
Someone who
I played the demo anyway.
Works out myself. When you're jacked to hell like Sephiroth, probably on some kind of like super soldier serum type and you're 6'7", ain't no way you're one of the lightest characters in the game. They can easily bump him from 79 to 100 or something, and you would still be fair to fight. Next, his wing. It's unquestionably one of the best comeback mechanics in the game on paper. Gaining 30% bonus damage on all attacks, increases to all his movement attributes across the board, heavy armor on smash attacks, and of course a third jump. One wing makes Sephiroth go from mid-tier to borderline top tier alone. So why is it so hard for him to actually have it? One wing doesn't function like a typical comeback mechanic. Putting it simply, the further ahead you are, the later it comes out, and the further behind you.
I feel like if they changed Wing to like kind of just always be out after like 80%, 90% or something, that would be good. The fact that he loses it is pretty bad. I don't know, he's the only guy who really loses his comeback mechanic.
Or the earlier it comes out. As for how long it stays, the wing goes away after acquiring a certain amount of damage advantage since acquiring wing, which means if say you're down 3 stocks to 1, if you start making a comeback, you lose the wing for the last stock, the time when you need it the most. I'm fine with Sephiroth getting the wing at varying percents based on if he's winning or losing, but in my opinion, they should make it so his one wing never deactivates if he's losing. Like if he's 2 stocks to 3, 1 stock to 3, or 1 stock to 2. He should just have it forever at that point. It wouldn't do much to affect his weaknesses, but having more access to the part of him that people actually have to respect would alone make him feel more gratifying to play. And like I said, the added weight would allow him to survive long enough to keep wing for a decent amount of time as well. Apart from that, fix the awful blind spots on some of his moves, and maybe do something to reduce the inconsistency on his hitboxes. This guy, deadass, has a sweet spot, a mid spot, a sour spot, and then a super sour spot on most of his attacks. You don't have to make it that strict. Last and
I feel like I don't want Sephiroth to be good. I feel like if they keep the cool and swaggy, that's totally fine with me. I don't know if he needs like a rework and just like change all of it. But I do think Wing is very poorly implemented.
certainly least, Luigi. Say what you want about Steve.
Wait, he wants to rework Luigi? This character, he has to be a meme character. Oh, like, the only thing you can say about Luigi is get rid of Touch of Death. That's it. Everything else is totally cool.
And Kazuya, I certainly have. For the love of God, please change Luigi. This character is the definition of cheese. I like the premise behind the differences between him and
He hates Luigi.
Mario, where Mario has a lot more mobility and his combo game is more traditional, while Luigi goes into extreme territory, having some of the worst movement in the game, especially in the air, but making up for it with an insane combo game and damage output. I'm cool with that. What I'm not cool with is how he can ruin your entire soul off a single interaction. My problem is not really the 0 to death, many characters have one. My problem is how easy it is to get the 0 to death. Luigi's plunger is by far the best grab in the game, I don't care what anyone says. A tether grab that for no reason has less end lag when used as a pivot. It's not the longest nor fastest grab in the game by any stretch of the imagination, but it's good enough to where he can outspace most attacks with this grab.
Holy...
That Zair is the single stupidest thing in the game. I've seen it clank.
Why does he have a Zair? And why is it the most goated Zair in the entire game? Chat, whose Zair is better, Luigi or Zero Suit? Debate. Zair is so broken. Dude, at 2 frames, it falls down and hits you. Oh, I love this. Everyone is saying Luigi. Loki, it's probably not Luigi, but I'm glad you guys are saying so. Luigi sends out his anti-tech chase Zair. It ledge traps and combos into his Touch of Death. Oh, baby. You clank with Zair, and then he grabs you with 0 to death. The fact that it does clank is kind of f***ed up. It should just lose to everything. It should just vanish as soon as a hitbox comes next to it. You know what's really funny is I remember having an extremely similar conversation about whose grab is better in Smash 4 between Zero Suit and Luigi, because those two had the unquestionable best grabs in the game for similar reasons, because they both would smite you at any percent. I think we just agreed on Luigi because, like, Zero Suit had a tether grab and that was ass in Smash 4, but hey.
With basically everything. You can do an instant landing Zair to force you to clank with it and then go for a regular grab. Real talk.
Hey look, it's the clank thing we were talking about.
Smash 4, the regular Mario style grab, then 0 to deaths would be more tolerable because you would have to be really close to you. But Luigi's plunger is such a generous grab tap on his
and he has kill throw.
Touch of Death character. He's not broken by any means. Luigi might be in contention for having one of the worst offstage games of all time, but the point is, I don't think anyone enjoys fighting this guy because the best way to beat him is to not interact with him at all. Kazuya 0 to deaths I can grudgingly respect to an extent because they are DIable and they require a decent amount of execution and precision to do consistently. Ice climbers are even more difficult to do. Luigi? Absolutely not. Those combos are free as f***. Fair's fair, man, respect to Daru for playing Luigi with actual fundies, and for what it's worth, Elegant made this character work, but man, I hate Luigi. I don't care what any of you say, this character is horse. Like I said, there are plenty of cast members who need adjustments in the next Smash game, but these 5 are the ones I would love to see taken care of.
That's the 5? I don't know. I guess when I read the title as Reworks, I assume that the character is going to get a complete like overhaul in their like design and philosophy and stuff. And like, I can agree with Ganondorf, Sonic, and maybe Luigi. I think Kirby's fine, I think Sephiroth's fine. I feel like we could probably think of 5 other characters who deserves a rework more, like Lucario. I think Lucario is a free one. I hate when people say Kazuya 0 to deaths aren't as bad as Luigi's when the end result is the exact same thing. Stop saying Sephiroth's fine. He's fine. He's totally fine. We're not comparing 0 to deaths. They're all cringe, okay? Someone gets it off a grab. Someone gets it off of an intangible move that anti-airs and pushes you out of block if you shield it, so actually unpunishable. You know he has 2 normals under 10 frames. That's cool. Little Mac doesn't need a rework either. I feel like they did him fine. He's a boxer. What do you expect him to do? Jump around and like, what other thing can you have for Little Mac? Like, he's bad, so they gave him KO punch. I think Little Mac is fine. He's just obnoxious. Just don't get KO punched Omega laugh. But like Lucario, for example, nobody wants to deal with a built-in comeback mechanic. And playing Lucario is fun because it's like the thrill of it. It's like, oh, I'm at 180%. I could either die or kill him at 20%. Ooh, I'm so sick. And like, it does feel good to smite people at like 2%. But then you're playing Lucario and you're like, well, actually, I forgot that all of my moves suck ass and I actually can't get in. And this ability to kill people at 20% doesn't really work. I just have to throw myself at them with forward air, dash tag, down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think also characters that are designed to make comebacks and not win. He's not... If you're getting 3-stock by Lucario, you suck. He's not designed to beat you up. That I don't think that's good game design, especially in a competitive setting whatsoever. I think Lucario is top 1 on people who need to be reworked. Because just the idea behind him is just so wrong to me. I agree with that, Webb. I think Samus is in the conversation. Now, like, similar to what he said about Kirby, where, like, she's been in the game for so long, just, like, give her something new, you know? Like, she's got so many more games to pull from now. Just do something new. And she'd get a new design rework, too. We can give her the little dread fit. No longer have the gravity suit as the default. Not the gravity, the, Varia suit. How would you rework Samus? Just give her some new moves. Implement the other beams. Like, just change her physical outfit out, you know? Let me. We haven't finished the video. Hold up.
Mostly Ganon, Sonic, and Kirby. But what about you guys? Do you agree with my picks, or do you think others deserve it more? You're welcome to share in the comments. For now though, if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you'd like to like and subscribe.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Well, there you go. That's all the characters I want to talk about. That's all the things that we need.